Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. What started out as a 50-50 chance for a white Christmas turned into falling snow by midday.
Yeah, from dreams of a white Christmas to a winter wonderland, Billings woke up to its first substantial snowfall of the season.
Bob, a warning for drivers out there. Underneath that snow is black ice right now. But how much snow do we actually get?
A lot of folks got a lot of snow. Now, 10:53 last night, the weather report said there was 2 inches of snow on the ground on Christmas night. So to me, that qualifies as a white Christmas.
It does.
So let me show you. Here's how much snow we had in other places around the region. Take a look at this. 10 miles east of Molt had 5 inches. 2 miles west of Kinsey had 4.3. Colstrip had 4 inches. Billings Heights had 3.8, and it was 3.3 inches of snow at the Billings Airport. So yeah, it was a pretty good snowfall, one of the biggest so far this year. Now, if you still have people on the way home, there are no travel airport delays in Montana at all, but we have seen some airport delays like in Las Vegas. There's a 30-minute delay there. And in Dallas, they've had severe thunderstorms in that area, and so there's a 105-minute delay there. Over in Newark, New Jersey, it's a 31-minute delay there. So people flying in from the area, they're probably going to have to be taking the later flights tonight. So just be patient. They'll get everything back together, but we are having some trouble at the airports around the region tonight. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
Road crews and emergency responders were busy this Christmas holiday with 19 reported crash-related calls into Montana Highway Patrol dispatch in the last 24 hours. That was just right here in the Billings district. With
several new inches of snow falling on the eastern side of the state, Montana Highway Patrol says troopers have not stopped responding to dozens of crashes and slide-offs. MHP reports this area of the state the busiest. Numerous single and multiple vehicle crashes reported over Christmas Day. Now, one of those crashes involved a Montana Highway Patrol trooper who slid off a westbound exit ramp on Interstate 90 but was not injured.
And we checked with the Montana Highway Patrol, and as it turns out, 2018 has fewer reported deadly crashes than 2017. So far this year, there are 177 deadly crashes reported on Montana roadways compared to 184 deadly crashes reported in 2017. Those numbers are even down from 2016, and a downward trend, troopers say, is good to see.
A 14-year-old Busby girl is missing and believed to be in danger tonight.
A missing endangered person advisory was issued today for Henny Scott. Officials say she could be heading toward Hardin. They also believe she may be injured. She was last seen the morning of December 13th in Busby. She was last seen wearing a black Columbia jacket with a gray hoodie and blue jeans. She is 5'1", 115 pounds. If you have any information, please contact the BIA. Montana's 2019 legislature convenes at the state capitol in less than 2 weeks, and state lawmakers have a full plate of issues to tackle. It's also the last regular session for Democratic Governor Steve Bullock, who once again faces a legislature with Republican majorities. Now, this week, MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison clues us in on the key topics of the 2019 session. He begins tonight with Medicaid expansion.
Just about everyone agrees the future of Montana's $600 million a year Medicaid expansion program will be the marquee issue of the 2019 legislature.
Medicaid expansion certainly is going to get a lot of attention in this session. There's no doubt about it.
The program provides government-funded health care to nearly 100,000 low-income adults, but is set to expire next June. In November, Montana voters rejected a ballot measure that would have extended the program and helped pay the state's share of the cost with higher tobacco taxes. That means lawmakers must now decide the program's fate. Governor Steve Bullock, a big supporter, says there should be no question about extending it.
Montanans have seen great successes. Both with the number of people covered, also dropping our uninsured rate from 20% to 7%. The $300 million of new personal income that's been brought into our state, and we haven't lost one rural hospital.
GOP legislative leaders, most of whom voted against the expansion in 2015, say their caucus likely won't reject Medicaid expansion outright. But they say it needs more restrictions, both to reduce the cost and make sure those benefiting are truly in need.
I believe it needs to have a lot more sideboards put on it, asset tests, work requirements, quite possibly there could be a drug test put into it.
I believe we'll take a real hard look at how we can extend Medicaid in Montana, but not in its current form.
Governor Bullock is proposing a tobacco tax increase to help fund the state's $60 million a year share of the costs. Hertz says voters already rejected that idea. Bullock says he's willing to consider ideas on how to improve the program, but not overburden it.
What we've seen in some other states is it actually costs more to implement the work requirements and all the monitoring than it does to provide the benefits. So there's no reason that we should be putting more money on taxpayers to try to kick people off health insurance when we've seen great results in the state.
It looks like this issue is a long way from being settled. Medicaid expansion will also be right in the thick of the battle over the state budget, which is the subject of our next segment tomorrow. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
In addition to this series, Mike's also producing this Sunday's edition of Face the State, which will have a lengthier discussion from the top political players on the upcoming session.
In other news tonight, reports of car windows getting shot out in a Billings Southside neighborhood has residents angered and concerned with the recent rash and vandalism. One car owner says the cost has totaled him more than $800 to fix. Now, residents living in the area of South 33rd Street woke up Saturday to find their windows shot out with a BB or pellet gun. As many as 15 cars vandalized late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. But even with surveillance cameras pointed toward the street, there are no leads yet, so neighbors want to spread awareness.
I guess I just want people to be aware, like, these things are going on, and I want everyone to work as a community to try to get this taken care of. Whether we have to do it ourselves or, talk about it, be vocal about it, like, go to your neighbor and talk to your neighbor, or whatever. Just share your information, know what's going on, and try to get whatever these people think that they're going to get away with to not let them get away, because, we have cameras, we try to protect ourselves, but sometimes that still isn't good enough when it should be.
Also in an area of Miles Avenue in Billings, there are reports of slashed tires. One neighbor says she feels hopeless that no one will get caught. Authorities tell us if your vehicle or home are vandalized and there is not a suspect, you will be directed to the Billings Crime Prevention Unit for follow-up.
We are now into day 5 of the federal government shutdown, and evidence of that shutdown can be seen at Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone will remain open. However, all government-run operations and facilities are closed. Entrance stations will not be staffed. Commercially and non-commercially guided snowmobile and snow coach trips will still be allowed. The road from the park's north entrance at Gardner, Montana through Mammoth Hot Springs to the northeast entrance in Cook City, Montana is open to wheeled vehicle travel. Visitors can access commercial services in the interior of the park. All administrative offices will be closed, and if conditions become unsafe, roads and developed areas in the park may be closed.
Now, visitors can still access trails, park roads, and lookouts at Bighorn Canyon, but if something life-threatening happens, emergency services are not going to be there. Due to that federal government shutdown, national parks remain accessible and laws and procedures still apply, but several services are out of commission. Also, there will be no park-provided visitor services at Bighorn Canyon, including campground maintenance, janitorial, or restroom services. Also, trash collection, facilities programming, road maintenance, and plowing will not take place. Now, social media sites or websites won't be monitored either at national parks due to the shutdown.
Is Montana a charitable state? One report says no. In fact, Montana ranks 47th in the country per giving per capita. Now, the research comes from a Chicago-based advertising firm that tracks search data. The study from Digital Third Coast tracks Google search trends by determining search terms. It locates searches for things such as donating time or money, best charities to donate to, and places to donate near me. The searches are calculated in volume for terms per capita, according to the study. However, whether search terms are a valid measurement of actual giving is something that some may question. But here it is. The study found Massachusetts was the most charitable state, while Louisiana is the state giving the least. Montana ranks in the bottom tier at number 47. Wyoming ranks at number 39. North Dakota and South Dakota come in at numbers 32 and 40.
With the holidays coming to a close, decorations start coming down any day now.
And if you need a place to trash your tree, the Christmas tree recycling program will be running again this year. The program started more than 20 years ago and is run by the city of Billings and the Bright and Beautiful organization. They ask that if you do drop off a tree, you remove all the ornaments, tinsel, and other decorations first.
Now, the group has volunteers on hand to make sure the tree is clear before it's turned into mulch.
And if you want to recycle your tree, you have a couple of drop-off locations to choose from. There will be tree recycling drop-offs at Hansers Automotive, Zoo Montana, and Schnitzer Steel.
There are also locations in Lockwood, Shepherd, Huntley, and Laurel. The program runs from today through January 21st. Coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, Montana might be landlocked, but there's a place in Great Falls offering up a chance to live under the sea. We'll check it out.
And later in sports, we go back to a warmer time on our countdown to the top stories of the year. A summer one man will never forget.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.